Back in 2008, us Walby people decided we wanted to give better support to young children and their families living in communities. Walby country is the Denmark Desert area, and it's a long way from the major towns. Our four main communities are Lajamanu, Yundamu, Nyirbi, and Wilara. Yundamu is 3 hours drive from Alice Springs. Lajamanu is 10, and even further from Darwin. To tackle this challenge, the Walby Education and Training Trust, or WET, together with the Central Land Council, invited World Vision Australia to work with our communities. The goal was to help Walby people develop our own early childhood services using Walby money from the Greenwich gold mine.
World Vision yingal basil panokar leje support man jok and help man ingal chindanga jok work jaramanga kudukulu wita rakulo ingal jana pitchirel madane chindanga jok kadel man yapanko.
Before World Vision took on this project, only Yundamu had a functioning childcare center. In the other communities, early childhood and development services were either sporadic, under-resourced, or non-existent. Young children were missing the benefits of early education and activities.
Nur bajana kari jangan nyuru yang service nyambla lawa. Kala nambla jog nyina jang ngajar pala nyambla wati ala kala nyina jambla jog. Anu mula jangan ngana dak mana 1985 lak mana building ngabing ngural go. Yuka jalu pala nga wita classroom la wita klang la mana wiri klang la pala yuka jan classroom la. Pat chill like anga early childhood chill lawa jog.
By 2006, the community had developed some early childhood programs, which they ran on and off as funding allowed.
Jadi jajal wal cangui kambar jo. Yang mau ball break mulang jana wide wada ko siar mapan jana nyambla jo. Kulu ko jalo nyambul peran nyanja nanga yapak lang yo ale empty one wade.
The women got a house with a creche, but it was no longer running when World Vision started working with Nyirbi residents in 2008, and the space was too small to meet demand. The Australian government funded upgrades of the creche building. At the same time, World Vision worked with local Yapa and the Central Desert Regional Council to ensure the community had a voice in planning the childcare center.
That area is just like dress-up area for the little ones?
Work was completed in 2010, and in October that year, the community set up an early childhood reference group under World Vision's mentorship.
Yang kalau berbeda ready mana kan? Kalau berjalan kap menik, ready man berjalan. Orang apa yang berjalan news mana jalan orang.
The reference group meets once a month to plan early childhood programs and initiatives for Nyirbi. It also makes sure the community has the strongest voice in any decisions about how the creche is run.
But not more career, just maybe more yapas, maybe two, one career helping me.
This early childhood reference group is for everybody from all the areas like north side, east side, south, middle side. They all came together and we talked about like what we needed at creche.
Yeah, the parents are coming more and more. Like before, we'd never had parents come to this creche. We'd see them drop their little one off here, but now it's more parents coming. They'd sit down with them, read a book. With these ones, I mean, they gotta learn the Warlpiri words.
The Early Childhood Reference Group works hard to promote community engagement in the creche and in their other activities. Working with World Vision staff, members carried out a community mapping project to identify all the households with young children.
Now we was counting all the little kuru widow, where they lived with their parents, and so they can be enrolled in that child care. And we got that map out, and then we talked about, we still put more names, that there wasn't like more names that we fitted in for kuru widow.
And we've got a lot of little ones here that want to come to the creche. Some of them like to do coloring, and they do tracing over words, like letters. They're getting them ready for school, yeah.
Have a look at that word and have a look at the one up there. Is it exactly the same, or this one?
For the little ones, well, the ones I was teaching before, like they now 10-year-olds. I've seen them in school. They approved. They behaved real well.
So have a look. Tell us what you think.
The Early Childhood Reference Group also helps to plan training for reference group members and for other interested IAPA from the community.
I did some child protection training with World Vision staff here in Nirpi. Here we was talking about like safety rules about kids.
Reference group members have also found great value in child protection weekends held at Emerald Downs, Alice Springs, and Yundamu. These workshops are organized in collaboration with the reference groups of the other Warlpiri communities.
When we did that training in Alice Springs, with people from Lajaman came down, they took that back, because we get a lot of teaching back from like the careers that teach us, So we can do it like better, next time like maybe Yapa can run it too,
And we can talk to our family langa.
Yeah, and
we can use that at home too.
Work by learning, that's very important for us.
Yeah.
With funding from WET and World Vision supporters, reference group members have also participated in study trips and accredited training, starting with a trip to Perth in 2010. Reference group members and creche workers from all 4 Warlpiri communities went to visit the Central TAFE Institute of Technology.
It was organized by World Vision and the Central TAFE mob. We did a training at the Central TAFE. Then we went to run other schools, preschools, and creche. Then I came back here and I had more ideas how they were set up there, and they helped me with my work here.
Several Nirbi staff, including Andrea, went on to study for certificates in children's services, first through TAFE, then through Bachelor Institute in the Northern Territory.
Yeah, they even do training, and they still want to do training because some of them did like Cert 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And we talk about like, how can we make these Kuru strong in their learning? As me as a teacher, I talk to the workers, this is what you can do, You don't have to do all day lesson, you can only do like Warlpiri lesson, teach them about culture, teach them about like country, and just learn about the songs, teach them their first language. And then maybe just a little of English, because that they can learn through, because first language comes first and English comes after.
Despite all the great things the new plague group has achieved, it's been shut down several times for long periods due to a lack of government funding.
We want the government to speak to us about the service, something like that.
We approached CLC too, like Redmop, with this letter. You know, because World Vision supported community efforts to get funding reinstated and also helped the reference group get a temporary mobile play group going. We had reference group since the World Vision came in, like, you know.
You
But it was us, the Yappa, you know, us, the community people talking with them. They were only taking notes, you know, what we are talking about.
are talking about community and opening back the crèche here for the kids because there's more kids growing up and we want them to come back to crèche and learn.
I hope everyone's listening. Like it said, for the little ones, they are wandering around outside. I mean, when this crèche was open, we had the kids here. Like they're safe here, and at least they are fed here, and they got their training here, like before they go to school, and they're happy here.
Like somebody will support us there. We want to still see it happening. If World Vision goes, we need to be strong and standing up and talking about our little ones, you know, and about our reference group and our communities. Before World Vision started working with Yundamu community, residents knew that more could be done to support their children's early development.
In the 90s, there was only preschool and year 1 and 2. Then after that, we had the childcare running.
At the time when we was opening, me and Wendy was start working with those kids, and we gave them morning tea, lunch, and watching kids and going outside, looking after the kids playing outside. And after 3 o'clock, we dropped those kids at home.
Back in those days, the Yundamu Community Government Council ran the childcare service, and other services often visited because Yundamu is the biggest Walby community and closer to Alice Springs than the others.
Yeah, we had service providers coming out from Alice Springs, but we wanted to work with early childhood in the workplace and at home as well.
So one of the first things that World Vision did was to support community members meeting and talking about what they wanted to achieve for their children and how they wanted to do it.
All child care la enyala meeting e japman. Ngaji neno ngane ko interpret man jak. Wala ba parlo jela ngaji man. Ngane la tanga joka ngula kanam tela nyenam early child reference group. Ngutu ngula kanal kinda nga warka jaram. Kada man yapa.
Init Nangala Kalaka joined the Early Childhood Reference Group, which has been supported by World Vision from the start. This one's for children. Over the next 3 years, the other Walby communities also formed their own reference groups to guide development of their early childhood services.
World Vision, they help reference group to put the meetings, and they work 2 ways. And Yapa and Kari are together, one mob. There's lots of respect and trust.
One of the Yundamu group's first projects was to get a play group going again for parents and their young children.
Separate name for a play group?
But there was no room for it at childcare, so the play group started running in the meeting house of the local Baptist church. By that stage, early childhood programs were scattered across Yundamu at different times and places. So the community asked the reference group to help bring all the services to work together in the same building.
We involved like school and childcare. Clinic used to come along too, and World Fishing used to come when there was a meeting, so we all got together.
The existing childcare center, run by the Central Desert Regional Council, was too small to be a base for all the services, so a new building was needed. This vision was supported by Northern Territory Department of Education, who worked in partnership with the Early Childhood Reference Group to plan for the center, which was also funded by the Commonwealth government.
All child care janga wal chinda work jaraja but new building rangula lenon ngula jaga karam child care families as first teachers and children's nurse and DCF all in one building.
For that child and family center, we help with the the designs and the colors of the rooms, which rooms can be used for different things like training, health checkup, and there was another room for just babies.
Funding and building the center took nearly 3 years. During this time, more than 20 childcare workers in Yundamu did certificate courses.
I was having training with World Fishing, and I got certificates 1, 2, and 3 for children's service.
When I was doing my study, I studied through the diploma of early childhood with bachelor.
The new Child and Family Center was officially opened in 2016. It is now the central hub for all of Yundamu's early childhood activities, from baby and maternal health to the CDRC-run childcare and playgroup programs, family services, and the Families as First Teachers program.
One for 7-year-old and one for... Is somebody's going to do that?
Yeah,
And present it to the community?
The Early Childhood Reference Group continues to meet monthly at the Child and Family Center, which is managed by the Department of Education.
as teachers, we're all working together. So if you need or want training, we can support you by helping giving you advice and giving you ideas on where training is.
They are supported by the Child and Family Center coordinator and meet with stakeholders and service providers to advance early childhood care in Yundamu.
We need to talk together and do it the right way. Share ideas from you guys, share ideas from me. Think about how we can best work together.
Formal relationships are being developed with service providers like the CDRC, recognizing the wealth of early childhood expertise the reference group has. This is contributing to better early childhood outcomes across the whole community.
This center, it brings a lot of children, a lot of new moms, and it's a good opportunity to learn from the elders and from reference group and World Vision. Learn more in the community. It's really good.
Willara is a community of around 270 people on the Lander River, about 4 hours drive northwest of Alice Springs. Here, local Yapa wanted help with setting up some kind of activities for parents and their young children. That's because there was no regular early childhood services in Woollera before World Vision started working with the community in 2008.
Hey, smile, you girls, smile.
Smile, smile. Now smile, you. Ngajuna, Barbara Nabanga Williams, work taken a playgroup la, Kurogolo, John Pirchide Kurogolo Maranja, near 2010 la, like when work taja, all one playgroup language office for a shy office for now.
This first playgroup was set up with funding from WET and support from World Vision and the Central Desert Regional Council. For over 4 years, the playgroup ran from a small room at the back of the council's local offices. At the same time, World Vision started helping organize on-site training for staff.
Staff members, when they come in, we do training with them. Like I join them with a training course from 9 o'clock till 12. We do that course through Petula College.
Hello, my name is Antoinette Glenn. I work at Woollera Playgroup. I got certificate. I did training with coordinator.
The playgroup was expanding and needed its own area for playgroup activities and training early childhood workers. So WET, the Central Land Council, and World Vision worked with community leaders, helping them to develop the original idea of an adult learning center to include playgroup facilities for families with young children.
They had a meeting to talk about it, how we're gonna build up learning center or playgroup, and we all said, yes, we want playgroup learning center, we need it because our children want to learn when they're 1 or 2, 3 years old before they go to the big school.
Woollera's early childhood workers put their ideas into the center's design to make sure the playgroup would suit community needs.
Yappa staff at the heart of Woollera Playgroup. So the local Yappa staff works with the coordinator, and also we share our ideas and we get ideas from the parents as well, what they wanted to do, like what they want to do in the playgroup or outside the playgroup.
The new center opened in April 2013, and it features separate areas for playgroup activities and adult learning.
Hello, Melody. It's me, Judy Long.
Once the building was ready for opening, Petula Institute took over the management of the learning center and playgroup. It pays the wages of the learning center coordinator and the playgroup coordinator with funding from WET. World Vision supporters pay the wages of the playgroup staff.
World Vision and Petula does work together, what we want to do, and we plan things ahead for playgroup.
Barbara Napananga Williams is employed by World Vision as community facilitator. Napananga makes sure that Woollera Playgroup is connecting up with parents and children in ways that'll get everyone involved.
And also Woollera namla playgroup long like kanina community facilitator, young community help pandako. Chinamran galjana ngadinyano parents lang ko jagal kanyen family member.
Early in the project, World Vision established an early childhood reference group with community leaders. But it only really got strong about a month before the Learning Center opened, when people saw the results of their artwork over a number of years.
Kujanaga, what we was talking about is how we're gonna run partnerships with,
The reference group helps coordinate efforts of all the different stakeholders in the center and the play group. It also makes sure that community ideas and needs are part of any discussions about early childhood care in Willera.
We want to know what they want, what they need more. Like reference group, we talk about it. We want to get funding for the play group, and we write it down on the book, in a minute book, and we talk about it now.
A key role of the reference group is to help arrange study trips, workshops, and conference visits for playgroup staff. World Vision and WET have supported many of these professional development activities, often joining up with early childhood workers from the other communities.
They bring their good ideas, we all sit down and talk about it. We make one ideas together and one good agreement what we need for the play groups in each communities, in Walbury communities.
One of the ideas shared by all Walbury communities is combining culture and language with early childhood care. This helps children grow up strong and healthy. It's also a good way for parents to role model the importance of culture in learning.
We also go out and plan things ahead, like going out hunting or bush trips, camping out. Sometimes we go out like bush tuckers for the kids and bush medicines that takes sores and scabies away.
Making baby board books is another activity that all communities have enjoyed. Families made these little books for their children to help them develop early literacy skills, first in Walbury and then in English.
I made a little book about Yopujo Moro. It says here, Napujo Pile, these are the hills, so kids can read and know.
We happy, we got the learning center here, we got the play group here. We've been working together as a team, and it's really good to have play group learning center at Willera.
In Lajamano, there were about 90 children under 5 when World Vision started working with the community. The only regular early childhood activity was a small creche or babysitting club at the local school.
It started from Yapa. That's where all the ideas came in, from a babysitter club.
And we had that little babysitter room in that classroom. That's how we first started.
But the creche could only take 15 children. This meant that many parents were missing out on early childhood education for their young ones. So in 2008, World Vision employed local mother Robin Navarula Lawson to help get some other activities going for parents.
2008, World Vision started here, and I was the first person to work with World Vision. I'm early childhood. First of all, people used to talk about having some sort of a play group and after school help with children, their little ones.
The women soon got a play group going at the local learning center. But the center was a busy place and sometimes there was no space available for playgroup activities. So the women decided to get a shipping container with funding from WET, the Walbury Education and Training Trust. World Vision staff helped to fit it out as a transportable place for playgroup in the park. The park was fine in dry weather, but it was no good in the wet because the ground got waterlogged. Lajamano School invited the playgroup to use its new preschool building. For 1 year, the playgroup operated from the preschool building. But there were so many children attending preschool the next year that there was no room for playgroup. So the shipping container was moved again to another part of the school grounds, and a partnership developed with families as first teachers, or FAFT.
This container, I used to move around.
It's funny, moving the container around.
I used to move to the park. That's from park, we would ship this container here.
Two places. Around the corner where the whole Mac room is. Near the playground. And then move it back here. And then it's one pot now.
Yep.
Roseanne Nabangari Tixon has been a playgroup worker for 6 years. For Roseanne, like many of the other workers who are also mothers, it's more than just a job.
I like to bring my little daughter to playgroup to learn how to hold things and count. I like to see moms playing with their kids and get to know other moms.
But it's not just the little ones who come to playgroup to learn.
Not only for kids, for young mums too, to educate them how to look after the babies.
People got a lot of young mothers now, you know, not looking after the kids, and we wanted to teach them, keep telling them to come to school, playgroup, FAP, so that baby can learn and grow.
And we had 2 new family came in with babies today. We tried for, I think, a year, and this is the first time one of them came. So we never give up. We just keep talking, and spread the good news what's happening in playgroup.
You just want to have a play with it.
Families as first teachers now runs the playgroup, but it might not have developed so strongly without World Vision supporting the community's need and aspirations.
It's good for us, Kari and Yapa working together and doing things. And it was a really big thing for us to plan this FAP and World Vision together.
The Lajamano Playgroup's been running continuously since 2009, but there was more early childhood work the community wanted to take on. So World Vision supported local Yapa to set up an early childhood reference group.
After from FAPT.
This would make sure that community voices were heard in any discussions about the playgroup or other early childhood activities.
We have formed an early childhood reference group, and when we met together, we pick out women from each family groups to represent their families. They were a strong voice.
It's really good for the reference group to get together and talk about how we can support young mothers, you know, with the little ones. And it's really good for us, you know, working together and putting more ideas together.
No, Canberra. From Alice Spring.
A highlight of the reference group's work is planning early childhood study trips and conference visits for community members.
Conference and courses to studies and workshop. We used to call it workshop too. Yeah, we're from Lajamano in Northern Territory, and we same tribe with these other ladies. We one breed tribe. When there's another snake conference, you gotta be there, you know. You gotta find out more and ask questions, meet people from other organizations too.
setting a place where they can lie or crawl to.
And also they were sharing some programs that are happening in other places also. So we bring something out from there to here.
The reference group also played a big role in the community's next project, which was getting a crash going. Reference group members advocated for the new service and ensured it was listed as a priority in a local implementation plan. The Australian government provided funding, but they needed community input on where it should be built, how it should be run, and who should manage it.
Yeah, there was a lot of consultations, with the reference group before this building came to be, and, we was fighting hard for it.
We made a plan with the men too also where it's going to be built. So they picked this area because it's in the middle and people can walk from every side,
Life Without Barriers runs the creche and employs qualified Yapa staff to deliver early learning activities for the children who attend.
It finally happened and it's here now. And also early childhood reference group was pushing and talking more about some women having certificates, studies through bachelor. Some of them did sign up, got certificate to run the childcare and also at the playgroup.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sherry Anderson. I'm one of the local reference group members. Yeah. I used to work as a playgroup worker back in 2009. Yeah, I've just finished my Cert 3 in children's service. And yeah, I'm just proud of what I did and, the experience I have in finding jobs like maybe a coordinator at the creche or something like that, because you know what's there and you know what you'll face.
Erica Ross, Certificate 3 in Children's Services.
Bachelor Institute and the Central Institute of TAFE have delivered training for all 4 Walby communities. To date, more than a dozen early childhood workers in Lajamanu and another 20 or so from the other Walby communities have completed certificate courses.
50 young girls leave school, they might find jobs with playgroup, with creche, around the community, and we want to keep having playgroup all along.
There's been a lot of changes happening since the World Vision came. There was a lot of achievements over the years. We've seen our kids from playgroup go on that learning journey. That's the main focus, to help them get readiness for school. Childcare has a lot of partnership with FAB, Life Without Barriers, and stronger communities for children, families and children's services. We're building up that network, trying to build that better relationship.
Starting the creche and playgroup in Lajamanu filled a social need and helped bring jobs and education together in this remote Yapa community.